anyways, I just wanted to touch base. Man, remember, guys, when life gets difficult, we don't stop, we don't give up. Um, Sometimes you gotta kind of refocus. It's like I've been out of pocket a little bit these last few weeks, but I'm still working. I'm still doing stuff. Um, Still staying active with my family and my friends. It's just I feel like sometimes we have a tendency to put certain things on the back burner when we don't want to deal with it right now, because it's like whenever you start dealing with a lot of frustration, depression, anger, these attitudes that make us want to isolate and separate and things like that, it's easy to fall into them, and I'm as guilty as anybody else about doing that type of thing. And I think an important part is recognize that that's what you're doing. Um, Realize what you can change, what you can focus on, what you can fix. I'm not a um, an anonymous program person, but one of the things that they do have right is you got to talk about this stuff. You got to get it out there. You admit what you can do, and then you try to change the things that you can, or you admit the things that you can't change. It says that you're powerless over this stuff or over some of this stuff, and there's some things you can change, and there's some things that you can't change. And so it's kind of like, okay, well, what can I change today? What can I make better today? And without making excuses, you know just because you're going through something today doesn't mean you have to go through it tomorrow. And just because you may go through something, you may be going through something for like a week, doesn't mean you have to go through it the next week. You may be going through something for 2 weeks, it doesn't mean you have to go through it the next week. At some point you get to make a choice and a decision on what you want to do with your life, how you want to live your life. It's not always easy. It's not. Matter of fact, it's difficult, especially if you believe in God, and if you want to be better, and if you actually. We go from, for me, it's like I went from being a kid and thinking like a kid, um, like I was, 35 years old and still thinking like a kid. Um, 36, 37, you know what I mean? Like still thinking like a child. And not even just to quote the Bible of saying, putting away, whenever I was a child, I thought like a child, but as I grow up, I put away the childish things. And there's some things that are fun, that are childish, and then there's some things that are just, it's immature. And there's a time for immaturity, but if you can't at least recognize that, hey, I'm being immature, maybe I need to stop this right now, or at least recognize, instead of getting offended about it, instead of getting mad at someone else because you got caught acting like a child. It's like, it's okay. Like, it happens. It really goes back to this thing where it's not about how many times you fall down, it's how many times you're gonna get back up. It's not about how many times do I get corrected. Do I take that correction? Hopefully it's not the exact same correction over and over again. I feel like there for a long time I just kept getting the same correction and the same rebukes over and over and over, and it was for a good reason. I kept doing the exact same really dumb stuff for a very long time, and guess what? The same dumb stuff kept happening over and over and over and over again. So it's frustrating whenever you're changing and you see that other people could be doing better, and it's just like, I know that I could be doing better, because I know that my thoughts right now are nothing special. Somebody else has already had these same thoughts. As a matter of fact, somebody watching or listening to this has already had those same thoughts. For some people, some of my issues, you look at it and say, how's that even an issue? Like, that doesn't even come into play, And then for me, some of the issues that someone else has, I have the same thought. I'm like, I don't even get how that's like, that doesn't make sense to me, It's like choosing to believe in God or not. Like, even whenever I wasn't Christian, it was still easy for me to believe in a God, like something higher than myself. Like, even at the times whenever I was the most pagan that I was, and I got pretty far out there at times. Even in those times, I still knew that there was something bigger than me. There was something bigger than me. What it was, I was wrong about at the time, but it doesn't change the fact that I've always known that there was something, and it's easy for me to believe in that something. Submitting to it, submitting to him, it's difficult some days. There's some days that I fall flat on my face, and with the human mind and with a human judgment, there's a lot of days that I fall on my face, and I'm sure that for some people, I am probably an embarrassment to them, and I'm sure that there's probably some people that would even try to claim the same faith as me and say that I'm an embarrassment, and that we don't believe the same thing, and I'm not really da 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 da, and I'm this bad example, and that's fine. You can choose to believe that. You're free to hold those opinions and those thoughts. And if in your heart, your discernment is telling you to stay away from me, then stay away from me. I don't want you around me if it's going to be like that, if our spirits are that conflicting. Okay. I am not whatever you think I am. I don't even know what my own thoughts about myself are that would be correct. I know that each day God shows me that whatever I thought was incorrect, or he shows me where I was correct, or where I need to, stay in my lane in this area and work on this over here. And my walk isn't going to look like everybody else's walk. I'm not asking you to follow me. Whenever I make suggestions, if I make suggestions, they're the same ones that I do myself. I try to make it a point in my life that if I've ever been in a leadership position, whether it be in a job or whatever, I'm not going to ask you to do something that I either haven't done myself or I wouldn't do myself. Physically, there's some things that it's difficult for me to do. So yeah, sometimes I may ask somebody to do something that I physically cannot do, but it's because I can't do it. It's not because I don't want to do it, and it's easy to get frustrated, and it's easy to get offended, and it's easy to get embarrassed, and it's easy to lose your cool. The hard part is listening, taking suggestions, taking advice. Maybe sometimes you don't even have to take their advice. Just stop and listen and evaluate your own self, and just ask yourself, even if you don't believe what they say, even if you don't care whatever the person has to say, at the very least, take half a moment to reflect and just ask yourself, is this true or not? Is this something that I honestly need to reflect on? Is this something that maybe I do need to change? Maybe someone may say something totally off the wall and just out there, right? And they may have said it the completely wrong way. I have a tendency to say things what could be perceived as the wrong way. I know that. I get it. I know that I do that. I try not to. That's not my goal at all. But it happens quite often. And when it does, It's like whenever I hear somebody, whenever they talk to me the wrong way or whatever, sometimes I just have to look beyond their actual words. You know, why would they even ask that question in the first place? You know, and if we can't, or if we recognize that their motives are impure, then then it's like, yeah, well, why would you even ask that question in the first place? But then if their motives are pure, then it's like, wait, why did they ask that question? Maybe they actually care, I've had teachers that just say things just to get you to think, challenge they will challenge one in particular, he will challenge your beliefs, to the very, very core of it, because it's kind of like, do you really believe that? Why do you believe that? You know what I mean? Understanding why we believe what we believe is crucial to understanding why we do what we do. So, when we understand why we do what we do, then to understand why we do what we do, you have to understand why we believe what we believe. From incorrect beliefs, from lies, whatever you want to call them, you wind up with some pretty disturbing thoughts and some pretty darkened emotions. And from darkened emotions and disturbing thoughts, we wind up having some pretty jacked up actions. Cognitive behavior therapy says that if you change what you do, you want to change how you feel, because you think what you think because you feel how you feel, and you do what you do because you think what you think. And if you weren't having those thoughts and feelings, then you wouldn't be doing those things in the first place. So we need to change our thoughts and our feelings. This is true. You change your thoughts and your feelings by changing what you believe. Because if you believe a lie, you will continue to have darkened emotions, incorrect thoughts, and very displeasing behavior. If you believe it's okay that I can say whatever I want, I am my own person, nobody can tell me what to say, I don't care what anybody thinks about anything that I do, that's what you're going to portray. And it's like, oh, good, that's what I want to portray. Excellent. You do that. Go ahead. See how many people continue to care about you. See who sticks around in the end. Because people who genuinely love people, who care about you, they don't want to be around it. They don't want to hear about it. When you care for someone and you love someone and they tell you they don't give a what you think, okay, they don't love you, they don't care about you, they don't respect you, and you mean nothing to them. So that's your place in their life. And this is the attitude we project whenever we say these things and we do these things, is we're telling those people that love us and that care about us, I don't care about you, I don't care about your feelings, I don't care about your thoughts, you are nothing to me. You are an inconvenience to me. As a matter of fact, why are you even talking? So yeah, it's been some heavy stuff. Man, I've been having a good time, but also at the same time, there's been some real life stuff going on, and that's okay too. But the goal is to be better than I was yesterday. That's always the goal, is to be a little bit better, hopefully be a lot of bit better. Some days they just don't work out that great. It doesn't mean that the world was out to get me. even though for us believers, yeah, it is. You know, that's okay. We've been prepared against this fight. We have. There's no reason to continue to fall. So, hopefully this was encouraging, uplifting, and or informative. I love you guys. Peace, chicken grease, all that fun stuff. Yeah, we'll see you around.